What's up, guys? Josh Kelly here. Welcome back to another SwingU live episode. We're so happy to have you. Today we have a great show for you guys. We are going to go through the bag completely, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite drills for every single club in the bag. So we're going to start with the driver, through the fairway woods, irons, wedges, and putter, and go from there. So we're really going to give you guys some drills to work on to help every single club in the bag, because as golfers, we know we never have it all together. Okay, the drivers can be good one day, the irons are bad the next, vice versa. So we're really hoping that this show helps you guys play better golf. That's what we're all about here at SwingU. So we're so happy that you guys subscribe to our SwingU Premium, and we're happy to bring you these shows every single week. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Why don't we start with the driver? The driver, I always preach this, it's so important to have center contact when you're hitting the driver, okay? Off-centered hits with the driver is gonna affect the ball more than any other club in the bag, okay? Because of this gear effect, I won't get into it too much, but if we're hitting the ball off the toe, the heel will close over and we're gonna have draw spin on our ball. We're hitting it off the heel, the toe is gonna close over at impact, and what's gonna happen because of gear effect, we're gonna see cut spin. Okay, if we're hitting it too low on the face, we're gonna get a lot of backspin on the ball. Okay, so where we hit the ball on the driver face is so important. That's why this first drill is pretty easy, but we just need to figure out a way to figure out where we're hitting the ball on the driver face. So right now I have some tape or some tape here from Callaway that as I hit it, the impact tape's gonna let me know exactly where I'm hitting this ball. Now you've seen me use Odor X foot powder spray in the past. You can go ahead and spray some foot powder spray on here if you don't wanna get the tape, or you can buy this tape online or at your local golf store. It's pretty cheap. But basically what we're gonna do is stick it on the club face, and what we're gonna do is take a swing and hit a ball here, okay? So I just need to figure out this tee here. It's not really great. We're gonna tee it low because this tee's a little bit broken here inside, but that's okay. So we might get a little bit low in the face. I'll try to get a little bit higher, but we're gonna see exactly where we're gonna hit this ball, okay? Most people struggle with hitting the ball off the heel. Okay, and that's gonna cause a little more cut spin, okay? And that's one of the reasons why people are fading the ball more with their drivers than they are with their irons. But let's hit one here, okay? And let's see where we're making contact with this driver. Okay, pretty good strike there. Kind of a little bit of a baby draw. And you can see here that I hit that pretty good, okay? The tee was a little low. I tried to get a little bit higher in the face, which is good. Actually, a slightly higher, slightly toe hit right where I hit it is the optimal place to hit a golf ball with the driver. All right, so important to see where you're hitting. Now, just because I hit this one shot there doesn't mean that I'm always hitting it there. I'm gonna have some misses, but what I like to do is try to hit 10 to 15 shots with this and see if I can find a pattern. Okay, because most golfers will have a bit of a pattern that they have to work on. And the one thing I will say real quickly, if it is off the heel, okay, most people aren't aligning themselves correctly with the driver. What do I mean? Well, most people will tee the ball up really high, most golfers, okay? They're teeing the ball up really high, and the good rule of thumb is half of the ball gets cut off by the crown of the driver, okay? So when you're teeing it, half of the ball is above the crown of the driver when you're set up, okay? So the ball's teed up higher. But without them knowing, as I lift this club off the ground, it gets further away from my body. You see how further away from my body it is there, as opposed if I bring it down to the ground, okay? So what does that mean? Because the ball is teed up 2 to 3 inches, the driver lifts 2 to 3 inches. When the driver lifts 2 to 3 inches at impact, it gets further away from our body. Okay, so that might be one of the reasons why you're hitting it off the heel. So if that is you, if you're somebody who does hit it off the heel, then what I want you to do is hover your driver off the ground, okay, and align it with the ball. From there, you can rest your driver on the ground, and you're gonna notice it's slightly aligned off the toe, or you can hover the driver and just hit it from the hover. That's what I like to do. I believe Bryson DeChambeau does that, Ricky Fowler, a few other golfers like to hover their driver before they hit. So that could be a real quick tip to help you have a little more center contact. But the first step is to get some tape or some Odor X foot powder spray and see where you're hitting it on the driver. All right, so that'll be the tip for the driver there. I think so many people don't understand that center contact is so important with the driver. It's so important, and people overlook that all the time, okay? All right, so now let's move our way to the 3-wood. All right, so a lot of golfers out there say, okay, well, Josh, why do I hit my driver so well, but I can't hit my 3-wood at all? Well, one of the reasons is the driver swing is a little bit different than the 3-wood. With the driver, the ball's teed up nice and high. We're playing it more forward in our stance, and we're hitting up on it. So you can really lean back, and you can almost feel like you're helping the ball up in the air with the driver. With every other club in our bag, we can't do that. With the 3-wood, okay, we're not hitting down as much like an iron swing, but we are having a slightly descending blow on this golf ball with our club, okay? So we are catching this ball slightly on the way down, especially if we're hitting 3-wood shots off the fairway, okay, and we're not on a tee. All right, so we need to have a little more of a steeper attack angle with the 3-wood. Now, I don't want you to develop, jamming down into the ball with the 3-wood. That's not really like what I like to see. What I really like to see is the 3-wood is kind of along the ground for as long as it possibly can, okay, if that makes sense to you. So it's more of a kind of a neutral swing path as opposed to with the driver we're hitting up and the irons we're hitting more so down, okay? So a good drill for the 3-wood for most people that struggle with trying to lift the ball up is trying to get it down a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a tee just 1.5 inches, 2 inches in front of this golf ball that's on the ground, okay? So, not a great angle from there, but what I'm doing is just placing this tee sideways on the ground here, because I have a mat, okay? And it's 2 inches in front of the ball. My objective is to make a swing here and hit this tee, okay, after I hit the golf ball. You know, I'm gonna try to make contact with the tee with the club face, okay? I know that if I could swing down here and make contact with this tee, that I'm having a slightly descending blow. I'm catching the ball first, and then I'm knocking the tee out of the way, okay? Leading to a good shot. So let's try that here. All right, just like that. You see the tee when flying forward. Now, if the ball hit the tee, the tee would only move maybe a foot or two. So it's so important to try to make sure you're hitting that tee with the 3-wood and with the face, okay? Now that wasn't awesome contact on my first 3-wood swing of the day, but I know that at least I wasn't trying to help that ball off the ground with my 3-wood, okay? If we can make sure we're feeling like this club is going along the ground for as long as we possibly can, that's a great feeling with the 3-wood. Remember, we are not trying to help this off the ground, okay, when we're hitting these off the fairway. We have 15 degrees of loft most of the time with our 3-woods. It's got plenty of loft. Let the club do the work and lift it up, okay? So, and not lift it up, I should say. All right, so I feel like that's a great tip for the 3-wood here. So we're blowing by these right now. We have the driver tip, making sure the contact. We have the 3-wood tip, making sure we're getting a little bit steeper and not helping it off the ground. That tee 2 inches in front of the golf ball is a great drill, okay? Try to wipe that tee out of there. All right, so next let's go to the irons. All right, so we talked about how, we need to be compressing the golf ball, hitting down on it, catching ball first, and then divot second. The best drill that I have for the irons is what we're doing is basically the club on the left hip drill. So what we're doing is we're gripping our club about 6 to 7 inches from the head of the club on the shaft. Okay, now for right-handed golfers, you're gonna let the shaft run up the left side of your hip. Basically what we're doing here is we're gonna swing without letting this club hit us in the side here. Okay, so we're keeping the grip away from the side and we're swinging through, all right? What this is doing is it's making sure we are holding on to this angle. It's making sure we're not releasing the club too early, okay? We're gonna hold this club, the grip's gonna get away from our side, okay? And we're gonna have our hands forward at impact. We're making sure we're rotating through, we're getting our chest and our hips through towards the target, okay? And another great thing about this drill is this club face is a lot closer to my head, a lot closer to my hand. So I can look down and know where this club face is at impact. So it's not only helping me get my hands forward and create more lag, but it's also helping me control the club face because I can look down and see if I have an open club face or a square club face. All right, so that's so big. Keep that grip away from you, and we can also help with shallowing the golf club. We've talked about this before in the past, but the shallower the club face is, more like this would be shallow, this would be steep, okay? So the more that club head is behind our body as we come down, the better. What we can do to help that is just look at this grip as we come down. As that grip points more away from us, we know it's more shallow, okay? So we can rotate, shallow out the club, and get into a really, really good impact position here. Okay, so we can start slow, because this might be a hard drill for a lot of you guys out there. Okay, start nice and slow, and then you can work your way up to faster swings. If this grip is hitting you in the side, and it starts to hurt, you're doing the drill wrong, okay? So we need to make sure we are, okay, holding those angles, rotating, and keeping this grip away from our side. That's gonna help us get in a really good position of de-lofting the club, getting the hands forward, hitting ball first and divot second. That's the key to pure iron shots. Okay, that's what every single tour player does. So if you wanna hit pure iron shots, you have to get in those positions. All right, another quick drill that I love, okay, since we're going through drills that I love, especially with the irons here, is basically the tee in the glove drill. What we're gonna do is just stick this tee right in the glove here, just like that. Okay, and what this is gonna help is our wrist angles. We talked about club face control a little bit. Most of the time, most golfers struggle with, okay, this look right here, when they're adding extension in their left wrist as a right-handed golfer. Okay, what that does is open the club face up, okay? We want more of a straight line up their wrist. Okay, that's gonna help square the club face more and help get this club better in line. If you bend these wrists this way, not only are you opening the face, but the club is going across the line too. So the club is going back behind us. As I have a straight line up my arm and up my wrist, more of a square club face, okay? So this drill right here is helping with more of a straight line and more flexion with the left wrist. If I go this way, it starts to dig into my arm. If I flex my wrist, it gets away from my arm. So I can have this tee in my glove here, and I can feel more flexion, more of a straight line, and I can feel that I hold that the entire way on the downswing as well. So not only is that helping me square this club face, but it's also helping me get my hands ahead and shallow the club. So wrist angles are huge, okay? So this is a real easy drill here. You can use a tee, you can use a pencil, a spoon, whatever it may be, but that's just gonna give you instant feedback. If you start to add extension in your lead wrist, it's gonna dig into your arm. If you add flexion, it stays away, okay? And that's so big in the left wrist. So those two drills are so huge, okay, as far as striking your irons correctly. Whether it's this drill here with the grip the club near the face, the grip of your club is gonna be your left hip, and you're gonna make sure you keep it away, get those hands forward, okay? And then we're gonna put the tee in the glove to help us, okay, with our wrist angles. So big, okay? So I'm hoping you guys are enjoying these drills so far. I feel like these drills are really, really gonna help you play better golf. Like I said, tonight, we typically do, on these lives, we focus on one subject and we dive deep. But today I thought it would be a great idea to just cover every single part, you know, every club in our bag, give you guys one or two quick drills for each club and help you with everything in your bag. 'Cause like I said, it's so hard for us golfers to put everything together. All right, so we got the driver, we got the fairway woods, and now we're gonna talk about the wedges, and mostly more so about pitching the golf ball, okay? Because what I see people do wrong when they're pitching the golf balls, most of the time they're using too much of their arms, or too much wrist, okay? And they're not rotating their body correctly or enough, okay? So we need to get you guys rotating when we're hitting these pitch shots. The arms and the hands are gonna do a little bit, okay? They're gonna do a little bit of work, but the body is doing most of the work, okay? If we're using our body correctly, we can get in better positions and we're not gonna be chunking the golf ball. And everything's just gonna be a little more stationary. We're making these swings as easy as we possibly can, all right? So we're not complicating things by just using our arms and our wrists. So a great drill is to grab yourself an alignment rod, okay, and run it on the left side of the grip for a right-handed golfer, just about 1.5 feet, 2 feet, right? So now we have 2 to 3 feet sticking off the butt end of the club. What we're gonna do is, it's similar to that drill we just talked about, how we're running it up the left hip and we're staying away from it, but this time we're actually able to hit shots, okay? So it's the same drill as we talked about, grabbing it here, but now we're grabbing it at the grip. So we're gonna have this alignment rod run up our left side, our lead side, and all we're doing is taking small, I'd say quarter swings, okay, pitch swings. And what it's making us do here, okay, we're not using a lot of hinging, we're hinging just a little bit, but we're gonna hold that hinge and rotate through. Okay, you've heard Phil Mickelson talk about the hinge and hold. This is very similar, okay? We're gonna release, there's gonna be a little bit of releasing, okay, with the wrist, but we're making sure we're rotating through, because if I don't rotate through, guess what? This rod's gonna hit me in the side. If I just sit here and do this, like most people do when they chip, okay, and not rotate, not move, this rod's hitting me in the side. But if I do this and rotate through and get my hips and my buttons of my shirt pointing towards my target, if I do that, guess what? This rod's not gonna hit me in the side. So I love this drill. You can hit 20, 30, 40 yard pitch shots. I got my gap wedge here, 50-degree wedge here. Okay, we're gonna try to hit like a 30-yard pitch shot. Okay, that alignment rod did not hit me in the side at all. All right, that carried 27 yards and rolled 38 yards. Now we're gonna try to carry this one 30 yards. Okay. All right, that was great. Again, did not hit me in the side whatsoever. I'm making sure that I'm feeling that rotation. Again, at impact, we want to have a nice high finish with our belt buckle at the target, the buttons on our chest at the target. We're here, okay? We're making sure we're nice and wide. That's another thing. I like to get really wide with my arms when I'm pitching, okay? I want to feel like these arms are as far away from my body as I possibly can on the way back and the way through. That's going to widen my arc and give me more room for air, okay? If I start to get really steep with my pitching, it's not a good idea. All right, so I'm feeling like I'm rotating and I'm getting wide, okay? I'm using my body 75% to hit these shots, okay? Now we can hit longer shots, okay? It's gonna be a little bit harder to do. That's carrying, most of these are carrying 38, let's try to hit a little bit longer one, but I'm really gonna have to feel like I hold it a little bit more and rotate a little bit more. That was really good there. Really, really, really good. See, that one carried 45 yards. All right, so really, really important when you are chipping, when you're pitching, to have a nice wide arc and rotate. If you can do those two things, you're gonna be making way more solid contact when you're hitting these 30, 40, 50 yard pitches. So many people struggle with these shots. I love having a shot 30, 40, 50, 60 yards. Most people say, oh, I'd rather have a 120 yard shot. Guess what? The closer you get to the hole, the better you should be. The closer you should be able to get the ball to the hole. All right, so work on those few things, practice, and you're gonna be getting a lot better. Now, let's talk about chipping, okay? I love working on my chipping. I was giving a short game lesson yesterday, and I told the guy I was teaching, listen, dude, I could chip out here for 8 hours, okay? It's one of my favorite things to do, is chipping golf balls. I could do that 8 hours a day on the chipping range. It would be so much fun for me. So the biggest thing that I tell people, if you want to improve your chipping, is obviously practice, okay? I mean, most people don't want to hear that, but you got to put the time in, you got to put the work in. But let's talk about some chipping drills here. Number one, you've seen Dustin Johnson do this a lot, okay? Which is basically what we're doing is facing our target, okay, with the ball on our side, and we're chipping, all right? So what we're gonna do here is, this is almost like a mini trick shot. I'm gonna face my body towards the target, The ball's gonna be out here on my side, and I'm gonna chip just like this. Okay? So what this is doing, again, it's helping him, when Dustin Johnson does this, it's helping him get his body towards the target. Okay, it's helping him feel that sensation of, you have to rotate your chest if your hips are at the target. If I'm here, I have to rotate my upper body through to hit this shot. Okay, I can't hit that shot like this if I don't rotate my shoulders, okay? The shoulders naturally have to go through. So that's a great way of feeling like your body and everything's going towards the target. Now I can get over here, over this ball here, and I can feel like I'm moving everything towards the target. So many people, again, chipping, just like I mentioned with pitching, aren't using their body enough when they're hitting these chip shots. Just arms in their hands. So a simple drill like that can be huge. Another drill that I like is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up here to chip. We're gonna put the right foot back, and all we're doing is just having the toe of our right foot on the ground, okay? What this is doing is helping us understand getting our weight forward, okay? And it's helping us to move with that weight forward, because so many times I tell people when they're chipping to get about 65% of your weight forward, okay? But when they do that, they feel so awkward and it's hard for them to rotate. But I like to get this drill makes you put your weight forward, because this, basically most of our weight's gonna be on our lead side. Our back toe is just touching the ground just to help us bounce, okay? And from here, we're gonna hit the little chips here, and we're gonna feel, again, like we're rotating, all right? And now we're getting used to that weight being forward. Okay, so now when I come up here and hit shots that aren't with that drill, I feel way more comfortable with my weight forward, and now I can just simply rotate and hit these chip shots. So those two body position drills when you're chipping are huge. I think those are gonna help you out big time. All right, I feel like this is going great. We got some great drills here. The last thing I wanna talk about is putting, okay? And that's the last thing I like to talk about. No, putting's awesome. I mean, it can be frustrating. So many people have so many different theories on it. You know, grips and putters and how you should stand and where your eye alignment should be. Some people like their eye alignment right over the ball. Some like it on this side of the ball. Some like it on that side of the ball. Basically, it comes down to whatever feels comfortable for you, whatever's gonna make you make more putts. But I think the one thing that almost every single teacher can agree on when it comes to putting is centered contacted putts consistently, okay? Because if we're hitting the ball in different areas of the putter, the ball is gonna travel at different speeds, okay? Speed control is so big when we're coming to putting. So I think the one thing that every golf instructor, every golf player, every golfer out there can agree on is center contacted putts. So what are some drills that we can do to help us with that? Well, what we can do is, what I did here is take some rubber bands, okay? Just wrap them around a couple of times and leave ourselves a sweet spot here. Okay, so now we're gonna hit some putts and train our body to hit this putt without hitting the rubber band. Okay, that's pretty easy. I got a pretty big little gap here from my rubber bands. If you have like some stickies, maybe some sticky, like, you know, circles that you could put on your club, you can buy. It might be a little bit better than the rubber bands. The one thing that I would say with the rubber bands is they do stick off the bottom just a little bit, not too much, okay? But a little bit, to where maybe, you know, it could teach you to get a little bit higher, or maybe you're not getting as low. But I still love the rubber bands. Now, I can get as aggressive as I like. So as I start getting better, I can move these rubber bands in a lot shorter, okay, a lot closer together, okay, and make it a little more challenging on myself. But you're gonna know, if you don't hit this ball in the center of the face and you hit that rubber band, you're gonna know right away. Like, that was a good one. That got aggressive. I got aggressive with it, but still, 2 in a row, 2 good ones in a row. Now try to get, what I like to try to do is get 10 good putts in a row. If I can get 10 good ones in a row, see that one? Went directly left because I hit it slightly off the toe. Okay, I could feel it hit this rubber band here, hit the side and went directly left. So right away, I knew instant feedback, okay, that I did something wrong. All right, so I think that was a great little session there. I really appreciate you guys joining us. Again, my name is Josh Kelly. If you want to see more of my videos, you can go to my YouTube page, Josh Kelly Golf, give me a subscribe. But yeah, we're so thankful you guys decided to tune in, decided to subscribe to SwingU, and I want to thank SwingU for having me. I have a lot of fun doing these every single week, and I really thought it was a great idea this week to just go through the bag, offer you guys just a few drills, especially if you haven't been here in past weeks and you're looking for a few drills to work on for your entire bag. Remember, you go out to the range, you don't want to just go out to the range without a plan and just aimlessly hit balls and groove in bad habits, okay? Have a plan before you go to the range. Have a couple drills you want to work on. Take some videos of your swing while you're out there. Take some slow motion videos. We all have phones now. We all can look back and check it out. So let's practice smart, get better at golf, and enjoy ourselves more. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you guys next episode.